All right, here we have Geronimo Stilton, Cavemice, Stone of Fire. We're going to do chapter 2. A dangerous morning as usual. Here you can kind of see, maybe that's his home. That morning, an old mouse, I'm going to start over. That morning, an old mouse city was just as dangerous as always. Every time I stepped out, I'm never sure if I'll survive or become extinct. The author wants you to learn these academic language words. After checking my will again, I got ready to go out. I stuck my snout out of the cave, glancing up at the sky. There were no meteorites raining down on me, and the maledactyl wasn't dropping any heavy stones. It looked clear, so I scampered as quickly as I could to the offices of the Stone Gazette. And notice he's using words like snout and scamper. My reporters were already carving away at their tablets. Clang, clang, clang. I said hello and then went into my study. Do you know what a study is? It's where you think, and then you think some more. Do you have a study at home? After I thought as much as I could, I picked up my chisel and started to carve my story onto thick stone tablets. What a tough job. And the author gives you this nice map with a key of where things are. So I'm going to read the key first. Shelves full of stone, slabs. Number 2 is the chisel room. 3 is prehistoric water cooler. 4 is carving tools. 5 is editor's desk. 6 is color printing pelicans. And 7 is Geronimo's study. So here's number 6. Number 6 is the color printing pelicans. You have number 7, that's his study where he's thinking. You have 5 where they're typing. You have 3, the water cooler. 2, some more clanging. And 1 looks like where they've stored the stones. That same morning, my sister Thea had hopped onto the back of her Autosaurus, a Velociraptor named Grunty. Even though Thea has tamed him, I always try to keep far away from him. He's a carnivore, and he's always trying to bite something. Unfortunately, sometimes it's my tail. Thea came into my study, and Grunty bit the cheese-filled donut I was eating right out of my paw. Hey, I complained. That was my breakfast. Thea, I told you to keep that biting dinosaur out of the office. But he's just a little baby, Thea said. His teeth are just little tiny baby teeth. She hopped off Grunty. Here's Grunty. I'm here. So here's Grunty. It gives us some information just to put in the back of our brains. The model, it's a turbo Velociraptor. Size, about half of a T-Rex tail, so he's small. Age, young, but with big teeth. And fuel, small pieces of fresh meat. So now we're learning about carnivores and eating meat. And here's some pictures. Doesn't look like Grunty gets along with Geronimo, but with Thea. So that's how the author makes it interesting. There's opposites. By the way, I need to leave him with you, she said. I have an appointment with the fur stylist. As soon as Thea turned around, Grunty bit my ear. Ow, I moaned. Baby teeth. Those are the fangs of a carnivore. Grunty innocently licked Thea's paw. Don't be silly, Geronimo, she said. Grunty wouldn't hurt a fly. She left my study before I could argue. As I rubbed my sore ear, Grunty chomped down on my tail. I grabbed my club and waved it around, trying to get him to back off. Stay where you are, you scaly-faced, slimy reptile. Grunty just grinned and blew a raspberry. Then he began jumping all over my study. roaring in his scary voice, sticking his nose into everything, and destroying the tablets I had just carved. I ran after him, trying to scare him by waving my club. Stop, you overgrown tablet breaker! But it didn't work, and every time I took a swing with my club, Grunty nudged me off balance with his tail. So the author gives us illustrations, overgrown lizard, and get out of here. Remember, you can pause this at any time. You can read it on your own, or you can play and listen. So I ended up smashing my massive stone desk, destroying my statue of Grandma Rat Rock, and then totally breaking my eggy bank. I pulverized, that's a great word. Notice how he made it big, pulverized. So we're talking about destroying. So here's another word of pulverize, destroy. My entire emergency stash of seashells. Finally, I stopped to catch my breath. I looked around and gasped, oh no, my study now looked like it had been hit by a meteorite. So now you know what a meteorite would do if it landed on Earth. I felt just as destroyed as the things in my study. All my hard work was in pieces. I waved my club again. Get out of here, you overgrown lizard, I yelled. Thea thinks you are a helpless baby, but I know the truth. You are a beast. Now get out of here right now. You're no baby, you're a beast. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? At that moment, my sister Thea returned. Grunty immediately knelt down and began to whimper like a scared little mouselet. And here we're doing a play on words. So this let means small, like a piglet or a booklet. Piglet would be a small pig, and booklet a small book. Mouselet would be a small mouse. Bones and stones. What a little phony. Thea threw her arms around him. Shame on you, Geronimo, she scolded me. Treating a poor little defenseless baby like that. I tried to explain to her that the defenseless baby was a dangerous beast who liked to bite me and had tried to destroy my things, but she wouldn't listen. She had a soft spot for that creature. As they left, Grunty turned and blew one last raspberry at me. With a sigh, I sat down at my desk, or what was left of it, and tried to focus on chiseling the latest news. So notice the difference between 1 and 2. Chapter 1, there really wasn't a lot of conflict. It was more just information to kind of back up, learn more about him and his job and his family, just kind of foundational work. But now we're getting into a little bit more of their characters, the opposite of Thea and Geronimo. And you could start making column a list, one of Geronimo and one of Thea, and start marking down what they have in common and what's different about them.